Carolyn is a very successful performer. She's been in productions of Phantom of the Opera. She was in a European production of Cats. And just when she was all Andrew Lloyd Webbered out, she gets a call from the Wiggles and is invited to be the voice of Dorothy the Dinosaur. Now, as Dorothy, Carolyn wields incredible power over your children. It's just as well she uses her character as a spotty green dinosaur for niceness instead of evil. Carolyn Ferrie, voice of Dorothy the Dinosaur, welcome to the Conversation Hour.
Thank you, Richard. What an introduction.
Carolyn, I'm sorry to do this to you, but you're out of costume. You could actually be anyone right now. Can you prove to me that you are Dorothy? Can you sing a bit of the opening track of your album for me, please?
Sure, I can. I'm Dorothy the Dinosaur. Walk right through my rosy door. You can smell perfume just inside my room. Come on and have some rosy tea. Some tea with me. Hey!
Oh, that's definitely you then. Okay, that's you. But
Proof enough?
That's very good. That's fabulous. Now, let's be clear on this. You don't actually wear the suit, though.
No, I don't wear the suit.
Okay.
Never have, never will.
Is that difficult when Dorothy needs to appear in public? What happens then?
Well, that's the beauty of what we do as a voiceover. The technology and all that sort of stuff. Basically, everything is on playback and pre-recorded. So when Dorothy makes a live appearance, she can basically say some things to children. It is.
And you're not there in the theatre. You're actually, kicking back at home, having a beer, watching television probably.
Well, exactly. I mean, they're touring all over the States. Unfortunately, I'm not there.
So you don't have to get into the big sweaty suit then? No,
I don't do that part of it.
You've got the better half of the gig for sure then, haven't you?
Definitely. Well, in my opinion, I do anyway. So, I don't know, the other girl might not think that I do have the better part, but...
Oh, there's a woman in that suit then?
Yes, there's a woman. Dorothy is a she.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Through and through. Always been a girl.
Well, you do the easy bit, but then she gets the children swarming around her. Is there any creative tension between you and the woman who wears the suit, Carolyn Ferrie?
Not at all. I mean, the point is really we don't actually often get to cross paths. I come over to Sydney from Adelaide, and I do my recording in a recording studio. And then when they're filming the film, they're doing it in the TV studio. And, so really we don't actually cross paths very much at all. Okay,
but this, of course, is just part of a very large performance career that you've had. I see you're actually on at the Adelaide Cabaret Festival at the moment as well.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, you actually grew up in Adelaide, the home of children's TV.
Yes.
What were you like as a kid, Carolyn?
As a kid, I was definitely out there as a potential performer.
From what age?
Well, I used to go along with my mum to singing lessons because she's a singer also. And I'd just sit in the corner and, play with my dolls or whatever it was I was doing. And then in the car on the way home, I'd be singing the arias that she'd just been learning. So her ear went, aha, out of 3 daughters, one of them's going to have a voice. So it was very young that my mum saw potential anyway. And I just loved it. I don't remember ever wanting to do or be anything else at all.
Do you remember making an emphatic statement like, I must go on the stage?
Yes, absolutely. My aunt always reminds me that, I said to her when I was about 5 or 6 or something, I'm going to be an actress. I'm going to win an Academy Award. So I still haven't lived up to that dream yet, but there's time,
Well, there's the Children's Entertainment Award. Do they do that in the Academy Awards? I don't know.
Well, actually, Dorothy the Dinosaur won. Well, she accepted the ARIA Award just recently for the Wiggles, which was very exciting.
I'd love to see, the Wiggles make a movie and, Dorothy get particular good notices for her stunning performance and moving. Yeah.
Yes,
if you get the Best Supporting Actress one, that'd be great to see you at the Oscars.
Go. That's what I'd like.
So there you are. You made this loud exclamation at the age of 5 saying, I wish to go upon the stage.
Yes.
What was your first big break then?
In the primary school play, of course.
What did you play?
I can't even remember what it was called, but I did have the lead role. No, but really when it got to high school and we were doing, music theatre in high school as you do, and, I got to do most of the roles there. But the most fantastic learning ground for me in Adelaide, or for a lot of performers in Adelaide, was the State Opera Company there had a youth company. associated with it. And once a year they would do a full-scale opera production in a theatre, in a professional theatre, professional, everybody, professional working around it, but all with youth, a youth orchestra, youth performers. And I don't think there is any better learning ground than actually in situ in the theatre.
So you did that, and how old were you when you hit the stage?
My first one, I was about 13, I think, when I first did that, and I did it every year through high school. And then when I was 16 and I was doing my matriculation, which is HSC in the eastern states, I got the lead role in something called The Snow Queen, which has since been done quite often too. And that was the premiere, the debut of that production.
Then you got to work with Neil Armfield after that.
That's right. That was the following year. I had started studying at the Conservatorium of Music. And once again, doing a youth opera with Neil Armfield, who was, in his early stages of his career. And I think he'd done a lot of straight plays, but he was just first of all breaking into opera. And we were doing a show called Frankie, and I was playing a nurse. And then he asked me if I could audition for The Turn of the Screw, which the Australian Opera were doing. So I flew off to Melbourne and auditioned for the Australian Opera, and that was the beginning, really. That was the professional beginning.
Was that like a dream come true for you?
It was huge. It was the most exciting time. It was just amazing. It all happened very quickly. Like, they had been trying to cast this role for quite a while, because it's a Benjamin Britten opera, very tricky music, and the role is written as a very young girl. I was 18, but luckily looked about 9. Not saying that I don't look my age now, but I did have the advantage of that, and the experience also. So it was lucky. I didn't really look 9, but not far off.
Yeah, and you had that voice too, which you can make sound very high and quite youthful as well.
Yes, that's right. But, musically it was very tricky, and so they couldn't just get some kid to do it, basically. So, so that was the beginning, really, of a very exciting time.
Well, Carolyn, you signed up then at the age of 20 for Phantom of the Opera to understudy Marina Pryor.
That's right.
How long did that run for?
Well, it ran for over 10 years. I did 3.5 years.
3.5 years in the understudy role. That must get so powerfully, achingly boring doing that night after night.
That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
It does. And, you hate to say that sort of thing because, to a lot of people, being in a show like that is glamorous. It's exciting. There was definitely that part of it. We were in the age of the wonderful musicals in Australia, which is somewhat gone downhill now. But it was a glamorous time of music theatre in Australia.
We had Rupert Everett on the conversation hour a while ago, and he was saying, for the first 3 weeks, it's just fabulous when you're doing a show. Then it runs on and on, and then you come up with tricks to amuse each other.
Yes, one does that.
What did one do in one's case, as in your case, Carolyn Ferrie?
Oh dear! Oh my goodness! Well, I was in the chorus every night, and then I would go on to start with once a month as Christine, and then it just sort of grew and grew and grew. But it's when you're in the chorus and you're doing a movement and you think, I did this 24 hours ago, exactly this, and in another 24 hours I'm going to do the same thing. So you really did have to create a bit of fun on stage, and we'd all do terrible things to each other. I remember once as a chorus, you're standing there in a crowd scene, as you do, with these magnificent costumes on, and standing next to a friend of mine who decided one day to undo the back of my dress, undo the back of my strapless bra and remove it completely on stage and walk off with it.
And walk off with it.
Well, there's not much you can do when, somebody's at the back of your dress and you think, yeah, they're not going to do it. Oh, my God, they are. No, stop. Oh!
And you've got to keep a straight face.
Well, yeah, you've got to try and keep a straight face. That's for sure.
While your bosoms are unfurled.
Yes, and sort of slid across from side to side, as the bra's been ripped out from beneath the bustier. Very comfortable stuff. And I think the same boy, actually, I'm sure it was him, I I had this, as I said, a magnificent costume with this huge long train at the back. And he would start walking up the train, which, you're just pulling the material down with each step, and basically I'm just kind of sinking to the ground.
Did you get your revenge on this man? Did you give him a wedgie or something, Carolyn?
I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, quick wedgie off stage.
No, the trouble is I was always the recipient because they knew that they could just make me laugh.
It wasn't Anthony Warlow, was it?
No, it wasn't
Right,
Anthony.
okay.
He can be wicked too, but he can just look at you in the eye and just kind of I'm
sorry,
terrible.
I just have to ask, while you were having the bra undone at the back, what were you giving stage whistles? Were you going, start,
Oh,
like that?
of course, yes. But then in the middle of that, you've got to try and sing, You've got here's the chorus part that comes up and, oh, God, sing a top C, Yes, it was tricky.
So after you've done that for 5,000 years, the Phantom of the Opera, what happened then? You had enough of it? Did you try and escape?
Yes, I did try and escape. I was very much over it, the running of it, the 8 or 7 shows a week and all that sort of stuff. So, yes, I took off overseas with my sister and had, the adventure of my lifetime and saw everything, did everything we could and, had a beautiful, beautiful trip overseas.
Did you consider killing off Marina Pryor?
Oh, often. The worst part about it is she's so nice. So to kill off somebody you actually like, you do have to be a cow.
Right, you'd have to. You couldn't live with that kind of guilt. Really.
I don't think I could have.
Not in the long term.
Well, no, I might have, but no.
My guest this morning in conversation is Carolyn Ferrie, and if you recognise her voice, that's because she is the voice of Dorothy the Dinosaur. She's giving away all her secrets today. And
I know, I'm in so much trouble, I can tell.
I know, who would have thought that Dorothy was so naughty? That's right. Now, you were in the Secret Garden with Marina Pryor, and you played sisters. Did you have a bit of fun with each other on stage?
Oh, we had the most amazing time together. Now, she's one of these people that can be on stage, make someone laugh, and then completely switch off and go and sing her stuff that she has to do. I don't know how she does it. I've never learnt the trick.
Is that how she keeps understudies in place?
Maybe that's the secret. That's it, isn't it? I should have learnt that lesson. But she's wicked. She's gorgeous. I love her to death. We had so much fun on that show together.
So, tell me how then you did become the voice of Dorothy the Dinosaur.
Well, I was just through friends' associations. I met Anthony through a friend, and we, just sort of did a social kind of things for a while, and then Anthony was very keen to get something together of an Irish production, which we did, called Haste to the Wedding, and he produced it. He has an Irish background, and there was it's a magnificent show like Riverdance that we did, with a lot of Irish singing, Irish music, Irish dancing, the whole...
This wasn't a Wiggles production then, was it?
No, it wasn't a Wiggles production.
Okay.
But this is how I first became involved. And then through that, I think the Wiggles movie was the next thing that was going to be happening with the Wiggles. And they needed a Dorothy voice. So Anthony said, just give this a try, when we were in the studio one day. And I just kind of copied, because Murray used to do the voice.
Murray used to be Dorothy?
Red Wiggle voice. Red Wiggle Murray used to just, talk up here like a girl.
Bit of cross-dressing in the dinosaur suit.
Yes, well, no, he didn't get in, but you just did the voice. And then there was one other girl, but Dorothy had really not spoken before, not very much at all. So we sort of just tried out a few things tried out this giggle.
Well, be honest with me, Carolyn. Did you think the Wiggles were kind of, dorky at the time?
Well, it was all very new at the time. They'd just done their first video, Big Red Car. And to be honest, I didn't have kids at that time or anything. I really didn't know what this whole thing was. It was just another kids group kind of thing. And I'll come along for the ride and I'll do that. Sure.
In the Big Red Car.
In the Big Red Car.
So the Wiggles movie happened, and that was Dorothy's big break.
It was, yes.
And did you tour with the Wiggles then?
Yes, after that I toured a lot with them. We went, just around Australia. All sorts of places.
Is that strange to go from that world of musical theatre, which is seriously nighttime, to some seriously daytime stuff then?
Well, of course, we did always do the dawn service in music theatre, as we called it. The 1 o'clock matinee.
The dawn service.
Was always called the dawn service. Or the breakfast show. You know, it says a lot about late night performers, doesn't it? Oh, well, yes, that's right. So, yeah, we'd be setting up in a school gymnasium with the Wiggles at 9 a.m. and... yeah, show at 10 or 10:30 or something,
now
and then another 3.
When you got the performance buzz back in 1998, you packed up and went to Germany to perform in a production of Cats.
Yes.
And that's where you met your husband. Tell me how that happened.
Yeah, oh, you know, it was the typical fall in love on stage kind of romance.
Well, on stage, in stage, what was his role?
He's a dancer, and he was playing a kitten most times, but then he was also doing Mr. Mistopheles, the beautiful black magic dancing cat.
You fell in love with a kitten.
Well, I fell in love with a kitten, but I fell in love with this beautiful dancer who had the most magnificent classical ballet skill.
I'm just wondering if there's something anthropomorphic going on here, like a dinosaur falling for a kitten.
Oh, well, yeah, nice. I know. It's all that kind of animal stuff, isn't it? Animal magnetism, maybe.
Did you flirt with him on stage?
Oh, absolutely. Very much so.
Is it hard to do that in a cat suit?
No, it's not hard to do that in a cat suit because the thing is you're being a cat. Cats like rolling around on the ground and wriggling around with each other.
Well, then another friendly character with an oversized head came into your life. I was astonished to discover this. You actually worked with Humphrey as well.
Yes, I know. There is something about children's entertainment and animals, I think, with me. But, yes, I was then a presenter or, you know, a friend of Humphrey, as it was called. And, I did a lot of the TV stuff and live shows with Humphrey as well.
You almost didn't make it to the audition. Tell me what happened.
Oh, that's right. The first part of it was I was actually cleaning my sister's house for money, as you do, you know, when you're a poor performer and not in a long-running musical anymore. So there I was with a vacuum cleaner in her house and didn't hear the phone ring, didn't hear it, and then finally did, as somebody had been trying to call me for ages, and they were like, it was the agent in Adelaide. There is only one agent in Adelaide. And she said, Humphrey want to see you today, you know, to do an audition. I'm like,
hang on.
What?
Humphrey has staff?
Oh, yes, Humphrey has staff.
And you get a phone call from his PA who says, Humphrey wants to see you.
Humphrey wants to see you, yeah. Well, Humphrey can't get on the phone and say, I want to see you, so... Because you'll be going, sorry, hello, pardon? No,
is this really Humphrey? Yes.
Yes, prove it. No, but the production company of Humphrey, I should say, wants to see you for an audition, but it's got to be today. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, all right. So we made a time, you know, in an hour's time or whatever, I'll be down there, and I jump in my car, and it broke down. Halfway to the studio, my car breaks down. And I didn't have a mobile phone for some reason at this time. I can't remember why. So there I was, you know, luckily on a main street. Go to shop. Can I borrow your phone? I've got to get somewhere. And so I called my dad. Dad, help! I'm stranded. And so I turned up to my audition probably about 20 or 30 minutes late. And they said, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry, Humphrey's been filming. We've had to let him go because he couldn't hang around for any longer." So it was all just like, you know, this just seems like one disaster too many. So just get in front of the camera, just say hi and say your name and sing, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I'm like, okay, sure, fine, whatever. And so I popped out the little Humphrey door and there was the camera and I said, hello, my name's Carolyn. And I'd like to sing you a song or something like that, you know, and launched into Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Is that strange, doing that?
Well, you know, sometimes I think when you've got no time to think about things, it's the easiest. You know what I mean? Like, you don't build up anything. You're not learning a script, or it's just, okay, just throw it at you, go and do something like that. And I think why I got the job was because I just was myself. I didn't have any time for any preparation or, you know, to think too much or anything. So I just went out there and I was Carolyn, you know, and just spoke to the camera. And apparently the producer, who had a monitor link up to his office, was just watching. And as soon as I said, hello, I'm Carolyn, he said, that's it. That's her.
That's her. You want her?
Yeah.
My conversation guest at the moment is Carolyn Ferrie. She's more commonly known as the voice of Dorothy the Dinosaur, and she just revealed she was also one of Humphrey's friends. Can you reveal who's inside Humphrey, Carolyn?
Yes, oh yes, there's no big secrets. No, there are two guys that play Humphrey. Well, I should say did play Humphrey, as Humphrey is now not really anymore, which is very sad.
Has Humphrey gone from the landscape, has he?
Well, pretty much. I mean, there are still live shows that happen, but they're not filming anymore, which is really sad. You know, I grew up with Humphrey.
Yeah,
I grew up.
I did too,
you know,
yeah.
Yes. He's an institution in this country, but I suppose, you know, children's theatre or children's television and entertainment has really kind of moved on. I suppose that's what it is, and Humphrey just couldn't keep up with the pace, I suppose, but it is really sad, isn't it?
So he's gone to that great children's show, Nirvana in the Sky, with
yes.
Mr. Doobie from Romper Room. And,
yes, that's right, and Mr. Scribble and stuff like that, yeah. But no, two guys were Humphrey, and two very different people. And I can, you know, see an episode of Humphrey and say, oh, that was Anthony or that one's Tony, you know, because they're just completely different, but they're the same characters to any other kids, you know what I mean?
Do they have to be careful they don't take the head off of the Humphrey costume in front of children? Yes,
I mean, children are not usually allowed on set for things like that, and it's the same with the Wiggles. You know, we're always really careful about you know, leaving a suit on the ground, because it can be actually very distressing for children to discover, you know, oh my God, there's Dorothy lying on the floor without a head. You know, something like that could be very distressing for children. And it's also shattering a dream. And, you know, like learning that Santa's not real. Did I say that?
Well, cover your ears, everyone. Carolyn, so you're doing this thing on the side, which is great, to do the voice of Dorothy the Dinosaur. Does that get in the way, though, of you pursuing your larger ambition of being a musical performer on stage?
No, it doesn't. I mean, admittedly, I would love to be back in the realm of music theatre. I do miss it, but I'm very occupied with a child and, you know, having a young family and all those sorts of things at the moment as well. And so it's actually a really great thing for me to have this where, you know, I still get the kind of excitement and buzz of doing something as a performer, but not the pressure of being, you know, in a theatre every day at 4 o'clock and doing a show. So one day, somewhere along the line, I'd love to resurrect the music theatre career. But this is good for now.
Well, I'm wondering if it gives you it gives you a lot of cred with your son, who's he's 3 or 4 years old or something, or 5 years old.
Well, he's 4.5, and he doesn't want to believe it. I don't think he doesn't want to know it, that I'm Dorothy the Dinosaur voice. He said to me, he said a couple of times to me, is Wags real or is Dorothy real? And I'd say, well, what do you think? And he said, I think somebody might just be in a costume. And I said, well, maybe that's true, and that's okay, isn't it? And he said, no.
I'm just asking you the credit because my son when he was 3 years old had a cameo in a Network Wiggles episode, one of Murray's
really?
Music lessons. Yes, and that gave him a bit of cred round preschool.
Oh, I bet it did. Hey, did it last long?
Oh yeah, of course it did. The whole year.
Whoa! He did well out of it.
So, how do you actually do Dorothy? Do you have a transition ritual? Do you have to get into character, or you just put the voice on?
I literally put the voice on. It is a, you know, it's my voice just pitched a little bit higher. So I just set it up here, basically. So, you know, instead of me talking like this, I'm Dorothy when I'm here. And it's a very simple transition for me, absolutely. I do a bit of a warm-up in the shower in the morning.
Well, Carolyn Ferrie, I just have to finally ask you, looking at children's characters, Mickey has Minnie, Donald has Daisy. Is Dorothy a bit lonely? Are there plans for a Daryl the Dinosaur to come into your life?
Daryl the Dinosaur, I like it. I might pitch that one. Dorothy's just a very happy girl. You know, she's young too. She's only 5 dinosaur years old.
Oh, okay.
But no, she's so happy with all her friends. But you know what? She does have a special spot in her heart for Anthony.
The good-looking one.
Yeah.
The fact that he became a sort of a Cleo Bachelor of the Year didn't pass unnoticed by Dorothy.
No, that's right. Dorothy quite liked that.
So she's a symbol for those loving ugly ducklings everywhere, or ugly dinosaurs everywhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Full of love, lots of love to give, but perhaps not the prettiest girl on the street.
That's quite right. Yes. But she also does a little bit of flirting with Captain Feathersword. They do have a little bit of a tango at a distance.
That's making my head explode now. Carolyn, great to speak with you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me on The Conversation Hour.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much for having me.